Good afternoon, everyone out there. Like Randy Wilson used to say, thank God I found my voice. I found my voice in TBC community. This is your friend, Amechi Eke, broadcasting from Ebony State. It's another wonderful opportunity again today for us to rub minds together and see the reason why we have to hold on tight with what we're doing. We have to hold on tight without letting any fear of anything stop us from giving TBC the real push which it needs more than any other time. I want to quickly clarify one thing that people are getting wrong. Briefly, I want to talk about that. Please, friends, you are bound to be seeing some of us in the community. At a point, it might appear as if you are not constantly seeing us in that way. That is not to tell you that is not to show that TBC is no longer working. That is a sign of something genuine. That is a sign of something lasting. Even TBC had been some time ago, I think yes, about a year ago, he made points like that, that he is building something that will outlast him or her. So let's get that very fact cleared and stop believing that, hey, once this person, once you're not no longer seeing a Randy Wilson, once you're no longer seeing that, that means TBC. No, no. TBC is something too big, more than any single individual of any sort of whatsoever. So that is not to say that we are not appreciating all the effort we are putting in the community. We just want to understand one thing very clear. Let's not attribute TBC to what somebody somewhere can easily manipulate and become all and all in it. I hope my message is being clearly passed. So let us understand that common thing. That's a sign of a big project. Okay? Most of the big projects that we have in the world around the world today, we don't even know who started them. But for the fact that the original members or those who started this are no longer, does not mean that it is falling. It's even becoming more and more bigger. So I want us to clear that in mind, because some people used to say, I used to see one particular person, I'm no longer seeing that person again. For the fact that I'm no longer seeing that person, does it mean that TBC is crumbling? Is TBC not becoming better? I'm much better and better by the day to continue to be. So let us understand clear life goals, or clear how life, in fact, how life works. Okay? Thank you for understanding that. I may be here today and tomorrow I'm no longer there. That doesn't mean that TBC is going. I hope it's very clear. I appreciate. Thank you very much. This community is often tagged a community of scammers. TBC is called a scam. But despite that, the surprising thing I usually notice is that those people calling TBC scam are always busy trying to see how fine, how well, how better TBC is becoming. They are just watching by the wayside. And these are some people who are already in TBC, but they still find it comfortable to describe TBC as a scam. I took my time to check what scam really means in a dictionary. The definition I got is this. Scam simply means a dishonest scheme. Okay? Is TBC a dishonest scheme? It's a question for us to ponder. Though people who are TBCians, those who are just trying to see how they can scam others, they are the one that are dishonest, that is dishonest. TBC as something on its, as a firm, is not a scam. TBC has given us real value for what we are doing. And the more we try to understand TBC, the more we distance it from scam. The more we know who the real scammers are, the more we see that scammers are seldom described as scammers. Instead of that, they'll be looking for somewhere else to push the blame on. Just because TBC is not bending down to their level. That is why they are fully calling this scam, just to distract the administrators. But thank God they are not even shaking. Nothing is happening. Yes. So if TBC is to be called a scam, it's a wonderful scam. Okay? It's a big scam. But don't be fooled. TBC is not a scam. It's just defined like that as by the lazy ones. Now, let's try to understand some important points here. Most of people calling TBC a scam or whatsoever name they find fitting to call TBC. May I tell you that those ones are people who were introduced into the opportunity, but who went no further than just signing up, got some free cookies, and then sit back and waited, according to them, for so long now for the magic to start happening. And when they are not seeing any magic, they now start saying all sorts of things that suit them by saying that TBC is a scam. So friends, TBC is not a scam. They are just waiting for magic to start happening. But they are not seeing any magic. And that is why they are calling this scam. They are the lazy billionaires and millionaires around the globe. I'm rich. But we are not doing anything about it. Another group who view TBC as a scam are those who has no interest in the billion coin. Yes. These are the type of people who doesn't see any sense in whatever their closed mindset could not carry or comprehend. They are the ones also, another set of people who look at TBC as a scam. Now, what do you mean? You want to tell me that this is something that goes up and never come down? The financial status of the world? Let me teach you about if you don't know. These are the people who don't see TBC as something real. They see TBC just as a scam because their closed mindset cannot carry abundance based. Okay? That is why they are calling TBC scam, which is not. So, different people with different ideas, and that is what suits them. Others too are simply too backward to accept technology, even though they are making use of the same tech on a daily basis, but they are not comfortable to really understand technology, how it really works. And to such ones, I look at them as nothing but the hypocrites. Even though they may not agree that they are hypocrites, but in reality, they are using the same thing. They are using technology day in, day out. At the same time, what comes up from that technology, they say is a scam. That means to them, everything about technology is scam. But they are making phone calls. When you type letter and give to them, or they're still making use of their emails and things like that, but still saying that technology is not to be trusted or things like that. It shows that they are hypocrites, whether they like it or not. So here in TBC, what people hear us say is that we are on a mission to end poverty globally, and that is where it sounds highly awkward to them. That is where it stops making sense to them, because even though they are living big on their own per se, the very idea of having or of seeing less impoverished people is not just possible. Do you know how I suffered for me to get to where I am today? Do you know what it takes to be this or to be that? I want to tell me that through this you can become rich. Through this, most of the time we just become equal. No, it's not possible. It's not possible. So don't believe that. So that is the way they look at it. So others believe that it is not ever going to be possible because they've been indoctrinated to believe in poverty as part of life. But too bad. They've been indoctrinated to believe that poverty is part of life. Does that really make sense? By saying so, poverty is being encouraged, and some people see themselves as doing no wrong, going about begging all through their life. After all, it's not a must that I should be self-reliant. No, it's not a must that we all must be rich. After all, poverty is part of life. If I can't afford it, you're under obligation to see me through. And this is what people proudly believe. But that is a wrong assumption. It's true, yes, there will always be poor ones, but not deliberate poor ones. Those who are just lazy. Okay? And they say, oh, since I can't do this, you can do it for me because you are rich, you have the money. But they are just being lazy. But unknowingly, this type of people are being they are being deceived by the wicked elite. They hide the truth from the gullible ones, such as they are. They want to believe that it is hard, and they cannot do anything. Oh, I can't do this, you know. But that is just to tell you how small-minded they are. And they want to believe that they go about priding themselves that they are poor, and supposedly they need to remain poor. Rubbish, according to Randy Wilson. So, friends, if people could do themselves some needed favors, they should see it as their fault to some extent for remaining stagnant in life. If they want to be sincere to themselves, let them know that to some extent, their impoverished status in life is their fault. Take it or leave it. I'm speaking to wake our minds up for us to know where we're going and what we're doing. Things are hard, no doubt, but not with everyone in the world, not with every single person around the world. Everyone around the world, not all of us are having it hard. Some are well-to-do and are not fully affected by all the ills in the society because they could avoid some problems, some situations due to their financial capabilities. If you are like that, will it be a crime? And you accept to be poor. And when they say you are poor, hey, I am poor. Hey, you know, this thing is hard, you know. It is hard, but actually others are doing it. And they are going with double heads, 3 heads, but 1 head. And that should tell us something. The real truth, that we are not helping ourselves by allowing ourselves to be deceived by those who want us to remain poor. Oh, but here, we now see TBC as a vehicle to lift us out of the financial mess. We see TBC as something so great and wonderful. We see the good things in there. And yet, some of us are still believing the stories being propagated by those who want them to remain ever poor in their lives, serving them. Is that not cheating? Too bad. Say no to that. I don't want to be poor. I want to do anything necessary. Yes, something necessary for me to get out of this mess. It's a mess. So say no to it. Look at their stories that they use to keep the gullible ones down. Number 1, don't be fooled into the belief that poverty is not part of life. Okay? Poverty has been here even before you were born. And even if you are poor, you know, people are poor also. It's not your fault. Or is it your fault? And the person, actually, it's not my fault. I've tried and tried and still. It's like you're saying the truth. But they're actually lying to you. Or anyone telling you that being poor could be used as an excuse, it's lying. It doesn't want you to stand up and see things clearly the way they are. Another thing is that they'll say you are too dull to believe that some computer generated codes and figures would make you rich. When did you hear that? Is that how I made my money? Is that how our parents? Is that how our great grandparents? In fact, forget all this. This they will tell you. Forgetting that technology has indeed made people multi-billionaires, not even millionaires. So they will say, go and just make sure that you don't lose your job. Otherwise, you are gone. Hold on to your job. Oh. Don't let anything happen to it. That you are pushing all these useless things that they are talking about, coins, currency, cryptocurrency, this and that. Forget those rubbish. That is what they will tell you. But think on your own. This is the same job. This is the same work that you have been struggling with all through till now. And still, you are just managing. You are just busy piling up heavy debts on your head, jumping from one place to the other. Oh, this one is better, you go in, only to find out that it's just a change of name. But the situation is even worse than where you are coming from. In fact, we need to beg God to help us identify real and good opportunities when we see them, such as TBC. For those who are looking at TBC as something scammy, sorry, please think on your own and see where we are helping you to, what we are helping you to grasp. TBC is an abundance. Okay? We keep on saying repeatedly that the reason why some people see fault with what we are doing or what we are saying is simply because a thing of this nature has never been done by any man. It has never even come up in their thinking. But if we could go through the pages of history, we discover that most of the things we took for granted today were once thought impossible. Most of the things we just take as everyday thing today were once impossible. The plane that we see everywhere today, they were once not here. They were once not here. What about the internet that we cannot do without today? Just a few years back, what is internet? All these things they should go a long way to help us understand that we are not to be fooled. So let us stand up and see the reality. Take for instance, let me ask this question. It's just a demonstration of it. Hello? Can't you hear me? You want me to be shouting and you don't want to. Can't you hear me? What am I saying? Or what am I doing? I'm actually making a phone call. And I am asking someone miles and miles away, can't you hear me? As if we are face to face. Those are questions we ask people who we are seeing face to face. As if, so you mean can't you hear me? But technology has made it possible that even without raising our voice, even without making noise, even without the next person hearing what we are saying, we could be talking to somebody miles away and the person will be hearing us very well. Is that not wonderful? But we are taking it for granted because it has become part of life. It has come to stay. Isn't that wonderful? Folks, we just need to stand up for what is practical. We just need to stand up for what is possible and stop fooling ourselves, believing what those who don't know are saying. We need to be wise, and rightfully so. My own strong belief in TBC is not without basis. My stand is based on something real, very practical to the core. Today, for instance, I can enter a vehicle conveniently and reach my destination without any hassles. Today, I can board an airplane to the most distant part of this earth and reach fully rested. Though it's true that sometimes some things do go wrong, but still, in my native language, they said, "Anaghị eji mgbagbu ghara iji ọgụ." So sorry for that. What that simply means that you won't because of bullet. Oh, bullet might hit me. As a soldier, I'm not going to go to the war. No, you have to face the war. So, but sad enough, most of the accidents happening around the world today could be curtailed by embracing the type of abundance that we are talking about here in TBC. That sounds somehow strange. I know it may sound strange to you, but we know what we are talking about. When we carry out our various duties with a measure of satisfaction that we will be duly paid, not having to be forcing ourselves into jobs that we detest just to make ends meet. If we are comfortable doing our various jobs with confidence that nothing is going wrong, folks, most of the mistakes we see happening here and there will be curtailed because you are working satisfactorily. You are not being afraid. Oh, I might be sacked. I will be shivering. Okay? And that is the reason this fear has led to so many things going wrong. Today we see some vehicles getting accidents. Oh, because they refuse. You notice that something is going on, but let me manage it so that. Why do you need to manage? That is why you talk about abundance. Plane crashes of recent, we know how many lives went, and when it was being ascertained actually what happened. Some due to mechanical faults and things like that. Or those people who were working, they were busy trying to make things, to quickly fold up things, and those things wouldn't be, for goodness sake, when we are fully rested and assured that yes, we are not hurrying for anything. Let's take time and do things. That is when you are living in abundance. When you're not afraid of anything, you are comfortable, fully rested. You do things that way. But when you are managing, let me just keep this my job. Let me just try and do this. Somebody who is managing, we end up doing a managed job. We end up rendering a managed services. So we don't want to do that. You see, when we go about talking about all the possibilities of abundance-based currency, such as TBC, some people may think that we are running mad. Some people may think that these people, it's like they are out of their senses. But it's not so. We are not running mad. But when you are speaking based on your or from conviction that what you know what you're talking about, those who don't know may actually be taking you to be a fool or for a fool. So people are bound to misunderstand us today to mean that we are ascribing to mere human what is only possible through God's intervention. Oh, so sorry. I mean, sorry for them. We are not. We are not ascribing to humans what could only be possible through God's intervention. Thinking in that line will be giving more power to what some of the so-called pastors or greedy politicians propagate to keep the weak minds ever in slavery. Don't do that. In fact, by the time you do that, it could do what? That thing you are being told not to do. Who are doing them? Are they not humans? They'll be living big. And when you try to break through, they start coming with their different ideologies as the reason why where you are looking at will not work. One musician, though he's described as a rascal when he was alive, Fela Nicola Pokuti in Nigeria, said the pastors and the politicians, they like the better things, but the people, the poor ones, they suffer. And they're suffering and smiling. What is there for anyone to enjoy? Being exposed to poverty, being exposed to hardship, and you say you are suffering, you are smiling, whereby you have opportunity of supporting something that could leave humanity out of all this rubbish. And people are busy telling you to pipe low, take it easy, take it easy. Friends, wake up. When you die, you are going to sleep. Stop sleeping and wake up. When you enter the grave, sleep as you like. Nobody wants to hear that because they want to play safe, whereas things around us is not hearing that words, play safe. Folks, let's thank God for giving us all we have today and to show appreciation to Him by putting to use all of them for the betterment and benefit of all that believe in Him. Let us make good use of our God-given knowledge, intellect. Let's use our hands, let's use our brain, let's use our thinking faculties to do something that people will see and say that yes, God who created these people is a wise God, because He has given us virtually everything, but it's now left for us now to put them into good use. And when we see those trying to lift breakthrough, some low minds will be behaving like crabs, because if you put many crabs in a bucket, whenever one is struggling to get out of the bucket, others will make sure that it comes down to them. Let's break free, for goodness sake. TBC is not a religion. It's just that some people are mistaking our passion for it, viewing it as if we are replacing the Most High God with man-made innovation. Far from that. We are not doing that. We are only trying to help people understand the benefits that lies in TBC. It's a great innovation. We have vehicles today. We have aeroplanes, we have ships, we have different things that have come to make life easy. Putting those things into use, are we working against God's purposes? People should try to learn and understand common things in their lives. When we do, we see reasons that what we are doing is something that has never been heard of. And that is where it all hangs. Something that were once not there. The internet, we were not here before. The phone we are making, the phone calls, we know how it used to be. We know how difficult it was before we want to pass letter across. But using the power of technology, they just within a few seconds or a minute. So friends, what are we really talking about? Can't we sit back and try to understand the value of the billion coin if we don't know? Other cryptocurrencies abound. Yes, they are a good way of doing transactions. But here, we are talking about a situation whereby something you use and is never going to be affected by ups and downs in prices. Abundance based. In fact, when we talk about how passionate we are about these things, people may tend to be getting us wrong. But please, if you have been getting us wrong, try to see reason in what we are saying. Try to see reason in what we are doing. Try to help people by you coming in. I'm going to put the link whereby you can come in to the Billion Coin community and see that so many things are becoming possible. People around the world today are beginning to accept TBC. It's based on agreement. Who places value on the notes we are carrying here about? It's based on agreement. So TBC, when we see the value in it, when we see the ease, when we see the comfort, when we see in fact, I don't know what else to say, but the benefit is just much. So friends, let's not be too serious with life. Let us accept help, because help is already given to us. Let us use our consciousness to help others. Let us embrace abundance. That is in just one word. Thank you for listening. And I really appreciate, because I see that people are liking my videos, and because of you, I am doing my best just to see where and how I can contribute to this very great innovation. I remain your friend, Amechi Eke. Please, if you have not subscribed, do so. And as you do, share my videos and help us all to do this thing that we are doing. Thank you so much. When we meet next, I may be your friend.